My boy.
Oh, okay.
All right, folks, you should already have your bookmark. You should already have your springboard book. If you're talking, please stop if you don't need to. So with that bookmark, you may or may not have completed your purpose statement for activity 412. 412 was the first activity of this half of the unit. All it was, we were unpacking what the heck is the assessment. Okay? Now, 413 is what we looked at on Friday and what we did yesterday. So activity 413, you guys got a summary of this play that you're going to be performing, A Midsummer Night's Dream. And you wrote down these little charts of stick people, how they fit into the actual scene or into the actual play, which, hey, front of the classroom, the whiteboard to the left, it's there again. So if you didn't get it, every single one of you has a copy because it's on that board right now. Now, aside from learning about the play, you also got a little background knowledge on the author of the play yesterday in that video. So how is learning about the play that you're going to perform, how is gaining knowledge about the author preparing you to perform a scene from Shakespeare's play? Go ahead and write down how it helped you. Check everything like that. Once your purpose statement is done, you can flip your bookmark to the back side, and we're going to catalog how the activity helps practice the concepts that your performance will be graded on. So on the class bookmark, 412 doesn't pop up because it was just unpacking, but 413 has you practice concepts 1 and 3. Again, activity 413 has you practice concepts 1 and 3. But on that class bookmark, there's a little bit more as well. It says for concepts 5 and 6 that an assessment we did a while ago was your practice. So when you folks did that book discussion about a Holocaust novel, you practiced and prepared creating an introduction and an ending. So we've already covered those concepts. And lastly, concept 8 of having interpretive clues, interpretive ideas. Well, you guys started doing that with the drama games with the sub on Monday. Whether you actually practiced or not is not my concern. That's what you should have been doing to practice and prepare. All right? So once your bookmark is all cataloged and good, you can put it away. And I want you to open up your springboard to page 295.
Oh, cool.
Once you're there, take those 2 learning targets and diffuse them. So circle those verbs, underline those nouns. It's just a repeat of what I've already gone through with you guys. So we know what we're doing with this activity is we're doing a close read so we can learn what Shakespeare says. Second, you're going to prepare dramatic reading. So you are performing today. It's kind of like a practice, okay? All right, now below that we have this Decoding Shakespeare. All right, not every single word that you're going to perform is something that you're going to know precisely what you're saying. We don't have the time to do that. We only have a few weeks. But what we do need to do is kind of look for some simple decoding ideas. So you guys have this line. This hang off thou cat thou burr. I don't know what it means. I doubt you know what it means. But there's clues there to figure out, okay, how would I actually say it? And what would I do? So what we're going to actually write down is one of the easiest clues that you can use to start decoding what the heck the man's saying. Now, where it shows up on the screen right now, you might not have room for it right underneath the line. So you guys do have this white space to the right that you can copy it down. All right, one of the first things to look for is punctuation. Punctuation is huge. So you may not know what they're saying, but when you can pull out the punctuation keys, you can totally figure your way through it. So the first punctuation key that we have in this piece, if you're not looking at the screen, you probably should because this is something to copy. In that line, we've got a comma, and a comma is a huge cue as to how to say this thing aloud. A lot of you guys steamroll through these things. You pretend that they don't exist. A comma is a spot for you to pause. So you take a breath. You swallow. It's a pause. You got to take it. All right, the second big punctuation cue in this line, there's this giant exclamation point. It's in there. When you're speaking aloud, the exclamation point means that you're screaming or shouting. But there's two ways that this could go. Some people scream when they're angry, but some people scream when they're excited and happy. So we know that we've got to pause when we read this, and we know our voice is going to be relatively loud, but we need another clue to help us actually read this thing. I want you to circle words that you do understand. Circle words that you do understand in that line. It might be one, it might be a lot. But you circle words that, yeah, I know what this means, I have an idea of it. Okay, and the last thing that we're going to do before we read it aloud is I want you to go ahead and circle or highlight all of those punctuation cues. So all of those commas and that exclamation point. Make it stand out. Now when you guys get your scripts tomorrow, this is going to be the #1 decoding method that you will use for your character. You will find every single punctuation cue and you're going to perfect it. Because even if you don't know what your character is saying, that cue is the #1 way for you to read this piece aloud. Alright, you should have circled the punctuation cues. You should have identified, okay, what words do I know? And there is one word in here that you do know the connotation of, meaning you know the emotion behind it. You may not know what it means, but you know the emotion. That word, vile. Is vile a positive word or a negative? Negative. Now that's a huge clue. Someone is screaming or shouting. If it's negative, are they angry or excited? Angry. They are angry. So the way we've got to read this is with anger, even if we don't know what we're saying. And trust me, I don't know 100% what's going on here, but now I can go ahead and bogus this and make it fabulous. So this is what I would say. Hang off, thou cat, thou brother, vile thing, let loose, or I will shake thee from me like a serpent. I don't know what I said. I don't have a clue what I said, but I do know that I'm supposed to be mad, and I've got to pause. That's it. That's how you guys want to act. You may not know what you're saying, but you just kind of roll with it. Right? Okay, now below that, you guys have this huge chart. And what you're going to be practicing is essentially taking Shakespeare's language and decoding it. So trying to get some understanding of what a character might be saying. All right, now we've got the characters listed in the left-hand column. These are 3 of the 4 major characters: Lysander, Hermia, Helena. Now, if you can't remember who these characters were or how they fit, refer to the chart on that whiteboard in front of the room to remind you of, okay, in the beginning of the story, these characters act one way. In the middle of the story of the play, something happens to them. And at the end of the play, something else occurs. All right, now the middle column says a quote, but it's an insult. So is the insult going to be generally happy or angry? Angry. So there's a big cue as to how you would say these things. And then we have to paraphrase it. So let's look at only the first row. Lysander is insulting Hermia. So he says, "Sit you gone, you dwarf, you minimus of hindering knotgrass maid." Do I know what he's saying? Not 100%, but I know he's insulting someone. Some of you watched me and you may have seen that my face got a smear to it. I moved my body a little bit, not a lot, but I did something. I didn't just read this piece aloud. So there is one phrase in here that you know. What do you think "get you gone" means?
Go away. Go away.
Go away, simply. Here's another word that you have an idea. A dwarf. What's a dwarf? He's someone who's short. So if we were to put this in our own language, we haven't even touched any of the other part of that quote. This is what we can kind of assume that man, Lysander, is telling that girl, Hermia. Some of you don't even know what's going on because you haven't looked at the screen. Maybe take a look at it. It's an insult. He's telling her to go away. And he gives her the insult of saying, well, you're a dwarf. You're so little. Now, I only did the one with you guys. One of the biggest assignments that you have with the script that you receive tomorrow. Are we done? If you didn't realize it, I have the earbud in my ear meaning I'm recording and it picks up everything. So, biggest assignment with your script is to take those words and paraphrase them. So this is a practice, and you have to start practicing it. Now, watch the screen. This box has appeared telling you what you're going to do. It says that you must work with a partner. A partner is one person. It's not a group of three. It's one person. If for whatever reason you're thinking, you know what, I just want to rock this myself, you can. But also there's something else that's really interesting, and some of you are going to be like, oh, yes, I can use it. For you to begin paraphrasing, you need to have resources. One resource that you're going to have in this room is a Shakespeare dictionary, okay? Now, it's not a giant, thick, bound piece of leather or anything like that. It's a simple packet, all right? Now, this packet does not have every single word the man ever wrote, but major phrases, they're alphabetized. With that first insult, I did not translate every single word. I looked for phrases that seemed important. I came up with a solution. That's what you're going to be doing as well. So one of your options to start paraphrasing or start decoding this work is to use this guy. And I'd actually recommend it for most of you because it'll be quicker than the other option. The other option is if you have a cell phone with your own data, go for it. Now, I don't mind when you're doing that, but depending on how you search this stuff, you might never find an answer. Some of you are going to go to Google, type in this line, and expect it to fire something back, and it won't. So, my suggestion is partner up with someone where one of you can use the dictionary to kind of quick go through, and maybe someone else can go ahead and have their phone out to try and identify the info. Now, here's the last bit. You only have 10 minutes to work with this. Those 10 minutes start now. Make it happen. Is the insult calling someone a name for the most part? Sure. So, this name, you this name. You know what I mean? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're chatting, please stop. If you're chatting, please stop. I need you to take your phones and put them away. You're not going to be using them anymore today. Just kind of a heads up. If you left your phone in your locker or you left it at home for whatever reason, plan on bringing it, because we're going to have moments like this where it's really simple for you to use your phone, use your data, and just very quickly look up answers. All right? What I want to do with you guys now is I want to quick go, stop interrupting and talking when I am. I'd really appreciate that. I want to go through the remaining 4 insults and just give you a quick, boom, this is essentially what's happening. A lot of you are exactly on the right track. The version that I have pop up, all I did was I tried to be as concise as possible, and I used modern English. Some of the words that you guys used, they were so proper, that's not how a lot of you speak, all right? So that second insult, you'll get time to practice right now, please stop. The second insult, Helena is insulting Hermia. So we've got girl insulting another girl, and you know how venomous that can be. I will not trust you, nor understand your cursed company. What is she saying? Well, essentially this. I can't trust you. You're a liar. You're a backstabber. Now, you can either watch the screen, or you can listen to what I'm saying. It's the same stuff. Okay, that third row, Lysander, the guy, is insulting Hermia. Out, Tawny Toucher. Out. Out, loathsome medicine. Oh, hated potion head. Okay, one of the things you've got to understand here, he's calling her a name, and it's not a good one. So in legit modern English, this is what he's saying. I mean, that's legit modern English. Alright? 4th insult. Hermia is insulting Helena. So again, you've got a girl insulting another girl. You juggler, you canker blossom, you thief of love. What? Have you come by night and stolen my love's heart from him? What's she saying? You're a homewrecker. Why'd you take my man? Well, Helena fights back, and she gives her own words. So someone who calls another one a homewrecker, well, that's not going to go over very well. So Helena fights back, saying that you're a man stealer, you're also an idiot. It's insult, 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 back and forth. All right, now what I'm going to have you guys do is please turn to page 296. And you guys are going to see this chart all the way at the top. I want to walk you through it, but if I keep getting interrupted, you're going to have to figure it on your own. What you folks are going to be doing with this partner that you worked with, if you worked alone, you just keep doing your own thing, you're going to choose a line from page 295, one of those Shakespeare lines, and that's what you're going to perform in class today. So you and your partner will have an insult and an insult. It's very simple. It is not meant to be scary. It's easy. All right? Now, what you've got to do on page 296, that first column says to write the insult. Again, you're speaking that Shakespearean language. You're not doing the paraphrase. You're saying what this man, what he wrote, okay? And yes, it's hard, but you'll get over it. So even if you fumble around today, it's not that big a deal because a lot of people will be. I had someone say a canker blossom was a cracker blossom, which was funny, albeit. But again, it's okay to make mistakes, all right? Then you've got a few questions asking you, one, what inflection will you use? So some people, when they insult, their volume gets really, really loud because they want people to hear it. But other people, when they insult, they're very soft and they're very venomous about it, okay? The second question, how are you going to alter your tone? So for your tone, are you just outright angry? Or is your tone more of despising this person for what they did? Are you more hurt by what they did? And lastly, what are you going to do with your body? No one insults another person just standing straight, their face having no expression. Something happens. Even if they're just making a side comment, don't you see something in their eyes or the way that they hold their body? All right, you guys have... You folks have 2.5 minutes to determine what's the insults that you will perform aloud with your partner, and how are you going to deliver it. 2.5 minutes, go.